Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? Hope quite well. Today's video is going to be another Top 5 Tuesday video, but it's going to be a little bit different. Instead of talking about like books or products or things like that, I'm actually going to be giving my top 5 moments since starting Chicklet Plus. So I'm excited for this video. I had a lot of trouble picking my top 5 moments. Yeah, it was pretty tough to pick my top 5 moments. So some of them aren't like specific moments. They're like a lot of moments that I group into one, or just like events, or I don't know, things like that. But it was so hard to pick because Chicklet Plus has been around since 2009, so that's a long time and a lot of memories made and special moments that have happened for me. Like, I probably missed a zillion things out there. Hopefully I kind of hit everything that I feel like has been really important to me over the years since starting Chicklet Plus and getting into the book and the blogging business. Hopefully I'm not freaking anyone out with this yellow shirt. This is the only yellow shirt I have in my closet, like legit only yellow shirt. I have green and yellow because I'm a Packer fan. Do I have any cheeseheads subscribed to my channel? Anyone watching that roots for the Packers? Because football season is right around the corner and I'm getting pumped up for it. But anyways, this is my only like yellow shirt, and for some reason I was just scrolling through my closet today and was like, I'm gonna wear yellow. I have no idea yet how this is gonna look on camera, but hey, we're gonna roll with it. But anyways, if you would like to see my top 5 moments since starting my baby Chicklet Plus, please keep watching. Okay, so Chicklet Plus is my book blog that I started back in 2009, and kind of why I started it is I knew that I wanted to write books myself one day, but I kind of always had that saying in the back of my head that my mom always told me was, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I knew no one in the industry, no one in publishing, no one in books, nothing like that. So I thought, what's the best way that I can start to make connections? And looking around, I found a few different book blogs, and I thought, okay, that could be a way. I'm an avid reader. I don't have a whole lot of friends who are big readers, so I really didn't have anyone to talk about about the books that I was reading. And so I thought, well, why not make a blog? I can do my book reviews, and maybe I can meet other people and we can talk about books. I could find more books. And the main goal was to make the connections to one day publish a book. So in October of 2009, ready to graduate college, I bought myself my first laptop, which is actually still the laptop I use today. I have no idea how it has lasted this long, but I bought a laptop. I hired a web designer to create Chicklet Plus for me, and I started from there. Book blogs, honestly, were not huge back in 2009. Like, blogging was like sort of getting trendy, but at the same time it almost had a stigma to it, like, you have a blog, like it kind of had that stigma attached to it, which was kind of interesting because then, I mean, within years it absolutely blew up. Everyone has a blog about anything now, and it was kind of crazy, but I didn't have a whole lot to go on. Like I said, there was a few other blogs out there that I was kind of looking at and seeing what content they were doing, but I really wanted to make it my own thing, and I knew that I didn't want to make it only book focused because I have so many different interests and passions, which is where the name Chicklet Plus came from. I knew I wanted to focus on books. Chicklet was my favorite subject to read and to write about and write reviews for, but I didn't want to be only in that genre, and I didn't want to be only books. When Chicklet Plus first started out, we shared recipes and had, lifestyle reviews. We also did like celebrity news. And when I say we, I mean me. For probably the first 3-4 years of Chicklet Plus, I was the only one writing the articles. Now I have a wonderful review team. I have contributors for articles, and it's great. But Chicklet Plus has definitely moved and changed throughout the years. I took away the celebrity aspect just because I think celebrity websites are just everywhere. You can get them on your phone. Like, it just, to me, I just didn't feel like celebrity news was really contributing or adding anything to Chicklet Plus. So these days we focus mainly on the book reviews. We now offer a lot of services for authors, such as like marketing, proofreading, blog tours. We have a newsletter with I think 1,300 subscribers that, we send out book information to the subscribers. We also still do, of course, the beauty and the fitness and the lifestyle reviews, but a lot of those are now being done here on YouTube. So that's kind of a little bit of a background on Chicklet Plus, and Chicklet Plus to me is what started everything. It's what started my entire foray into this industry. In 2011, I did publish my first book, Destined to Fail. I started my own publishing company, which is called Marching Inc. I now have, 11 books published, 12 books published. I have 4 published books myself. I have 1 in a collection. It's been incredible. I offer a lot of services for authors, and I've been able to work with so many different authors. I've been able to work with different readers. I've been able to travel around the United States, do book signings, meet authors who mean so much to me, and it's just been incredible. And I really do credit Chick-Lit Plus for starting it all. I mean, Chick-Lit Plus was the number one thing that got me into this, and I'm just so grateful for that random idea one night sitting in my apartment thinking, how in the world am I going to make something of my life? How am I going to make sure I do what I love? And to think starting a blog started all of this is just so crazy to me. So I mean, I get asked advice all the time for people who, I want to do, maybe something like me, or maybe something along the same lines as me, but not with books or beauty, whatever your passions is. My biggest piece of advice is to just go for it. When I was, 19, 20, 21 years old, I don't know how old I was when I started this, I did not have a lot of money at the time to buy a laptop and then to also pay for someone to design a blog for me. That was a huge deal for me. That was so risky to me to do that and not know if it would pan out, especially because Chick-Lit Plus, a blog, I offer advertising, but you don't really make any money with a blog. So to know that I was going to be doing something and basically just crossing my fingers and saying, hey, I hope this works out, but I'm not going to see any money back from it for probably a long time, that was really scary to me. So I definitely do understand, if you have the money issues and things like that and you're just not sure if you can do it, obviously try to make it work, but try to see if you can be inventive in the ways that you do it. I just started YouTube in April and I wasn't sure it was something that was going to pan out for me. So I didn't go out and buy a brand new fancy camera. I didn't go out and buy any lights. I film solely off of my S6 Android phone. I just use the camera feature, film off my phone. I have a crazy stand. I posted a picture on Instagram. I have a huge pile of books. On top of that, I have a canister that I put my nail polishes in. On top of that, I have a box with a bobblehead in it. On top of that is my phone. I have no fancy tripod. I have no lights. I only film in front of my window because I don't feel like I can afford to go out and buy a fancy camera if I wasn't sure I was going to be doing YouTube for the long haul and I didn't really have another reason to buy a camera, if that makes sense. So if you can get creative, if you can borrow something from friends, or if there's something around your house or something to be able to at least kickstart it, I really suggest doing it. That is truly my biggest piece of advice, is to just try it and go for it, because you never know what will happen. I honestly have wanted to be so many things in my life, you guys. I have thought I wanted to be a travel agent. I thought I wanted to be a wedding planner. I thought I wanted to do all these different things. And what I did was either I worked jobs, or I volunteered, or I interned, and I tried them out. And obviously none of those things panned out because that's not what I do anymore. But I at least can say that I tried it and was like, you know what? Nope, that wasn't for me. And I didn't hold on to anything and always have to wonder like, oh, maybe that is what I wanted to do with my life, or if I would have just tried that. So I'm going off on a whole tangent. That is totally not what this video is about, but it's just a question that I get asked so much, is how do I start, or how do I begin, or where do I even begin? And honestly, it's just with step 1, just giving it a try. Anyways, I will stop preaching because ain't nobody here for that. We are here for my top 5 moments since starting Chick-Lit Plus. I just wanted to give you a little backstory on what Chick-Lit Plus is and why I started it. And now let's get into them. Okay, so my moment number 1, the feeling that I was going to be taken seriously and that Chick-Lit Plus was going to be taken seriously. And there is one specific moment that I recall this happening that I wanted to talk to you guys about. But basically, Chick-Lit Plus had been running for a few months at the time, and I was doing book reviews, and I was writing the articles, and, sharing recipes and things like that. But I thought, wouldn't it be really cool if I could interview an author and share an interview on my blog? Like, wouldn't that bring in more traffic? Wouldn't readers be interested in reading these interviews with authors? And then my next thought was, nobody's going to want to do an interview with me. Like, why are they going to waste my time? I have like 2 page views a day and one's probably my mom. Like, no one's going to want to do an interview and waste their time with me. I finished reading a book by Cara Lockwood, and I think it was like I Do and Then I Don't, the wedding book. I just finished reading that book. I Googled Cara's name and I found her online and I found her social media and I ended up finding her email address, and I was like, I'm just going to email her, say who I am, and see what happens. So I emailed her, I said who I was, who my blog was, what I was looking for. You know, I just checked her book out at the library, read it, loved it, going to be reviewing it. Would she at all be interested in an interview that I could run as well? Within 3 hours, Cara had emailed me back and said yes. I opened up that email and it sounds, I'm sure just to some of you, especially if you're like bigger book bloggers, you might think that sounds so silly, but this was the very first time an author was responding to me. Like, not that she was seeking me out, I was seeking her out, but she was actually responding to me, and she said yes, and we did an interview and it ran. I did her book review, and I just remember feeling totally overwhelmed and feeling like, hey, someone took me seriously, and I just interviewed a real author. I just interviewed someone who has published books. I just interviewed someone who I read their book. It was such a highlight for me, honestly, and that happened just a few months after I started Chicklet Plus. It was such a highlight. I was like telling everyone I knew. I called my mom, called my boyfriend at the time, was like, can you believe it? I'm interviewing a real author. Like, that was a really fun moment for me. So then that kind of segues into my top moment number 2. These aren't in any particular order, by the way. I'm not like that was my most number 1 moment. They're kind of scattered all about. But my next top moment was me being contacted by Jackie Collins's agent. This happened. Chicklet Plus had been running, I believe this was in the spring. Chicklet Plus started in October, and I'm fairly confident I got the email the following spring from Jackie's agent, and they were just saying, hey, we want to know if we can send you a review copy of Jackie's latest book, and would you like to interview her? I can remember sitting on my bed in the apartment I was living in at the time, having my laptop on my legs, reading my email and seeing that email come through, and I just felt like I had won the freaking lottery. I could not believe it. I feel like I'm going to get emotional in every single moment I talk about, but it was so extreme to me. Plus wasn't even around for a year yet, and I was being asked to read and review a book by Jackie Collins and to interview her. Like, I couldn't even believe it. I worked really, really hard on like my social media following when I first started Chicklet Plus. I worked really hard on getting a Facebook page up. I had to learn Twitter, which was fairly new at the time, and I didn't quite understand it. The only reason I got it was because of Chicklet Plus, and people said Twitter was the new thing, so I made myself get it and learn it. But I worked really hard on trying to build up readers, build up page views, build up my social media, and to think that somehow that got across to the people of Jackie Collins was just so crazy to me. And now I have I don't think it was the same publicist several years ago that contacted me for Jackie, but even now to this day, I have a really good relationship with Jackie's PR person. I get sent every single one of Jackie's books. I did interview her a few years ago. Her interview is running on Chicklet Plus. I will put all these links to everything that I talk about throughout this video. They will all be below for you guys to read and look at and things like that. But I just feel so lucky because Jackie Collins is like an icon in the book world, and to be able to know that, like, I felt so special, and I felt so like, I honestly felt like in that moment, I knew I had made the right decision, and I knew I was on the right path. It was like I just knew it. That was the moment where I just had a feeling like, yes, you made the right decision. So moment number 3 is such a huge moment. And I believed this happened in 2011, so been around for about 2 years. It was also around the time where Something Borrowed was being filmed for a movie, and that is the book by Emily Giffin. Emily Giffin is such a well-known author, especially in like the chick lit women's fiction community. Her books are absolutely wonderful. I've read all of them. something borrowed was turned into a movie, and there's talks. I don't really ever know what's going on with Something Blue. It seems like it's always something different there. But it was around that time I got an email from someone on Emily's team asking if I would do an interview with her over the phone. So I actually was going to talk on the phone with Emily Giffin. At that time, I was living in a condo with the man who is now my husband. We were living in a condo. I believe we had like just recently moved in there. And I felt really cool because in there it was 2 bedrooms. So we had our 1 bedroom, and the second bedroom was kind of being used as like my makeshift office. And I had like a tiny little desk in there, and I would put my laptop on it, and I felt like so cool. Like I felt like I was like really doing big things. And I remember reading that and running out into the living room and being like, I'm going to interview Emily Giffin. I mean, I was absolutely freaking out. I was fangirling all over the place. I couldn't believe it. The day that I was going to interview her over the phone, my husband was like, you are making me nervous, because I was just pacing everywhere. I was so nervous. I had a notebook with all the questions that I wanted to ask her written down. My hands were shaking. I had like, my palms were sweating. When I was talking to her, I sat on the bed and just like chatted on the phone. I mean, it was the most like, it was the craziest thing of life. Luckily, I do want to say it wasn't just me interviewing over the phone. It was me and I think 2 other gals or 3 other gals, and we were all book bloggers. So we were all on like this group call with Emily, and then like her agent or publicist or whoever else it was kind of like running the show. Like, okay, Samantha, now you ask a question. And I think we all got to ask like 4 questions. So it was a pretty long interview. But basically, we talked to her about her movie and her books, but we also talked about the royals. I think the royal wedding, did it happen that year? And she was really into the royals. So we were talking about Will and Kate, and it was just so crazy. She was so nice. She was so friendly. She was so like forthcoming. You know, we'd ask her a question and she would laugh with us, and it was just amazing. And to be recognized at that point in time as like a bigger chick lit blogger, to be able to interview someone whose movie, I mean, especially in the book community, this movie was like, everyone was so excited for it because we love the books so much. Just to be able to know that I was being recognized as someone to be able to interview, oh my gosh, that is such a highlight to me and something that I will never forget. Whenever Emily has a new book come out, I am lucky enough to be on her PR list too, so I do get all of her new releases, but every time I go to open one of her books, I'm just like, I talked to her on the phone. Like, I'm such a fangirl, such a fangirl. So then moment number 4, I mean, I feel like I had to include this in here, but it was becoming published. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to like turn my emotions off when I film these YouTube videos, because I feel like I get emotional in so many videos, but I had to include this moment in here because it was the reason why I started Chick Lit Plus. It was my driving force behind it, was one day I'm going to publish a book. And it wasn't just, you know, in 2009 that I wanted to be an author. I wanted to write books since I was 9 years old, and it is duly documented in like my little books that my mom put together for us. What do you want to be when you grow up? Starting around the age of 9, I wanted to be an author. You know, sometimes I said like actress, and I think one time was like a vet. The times in there was always author. So this has been a childhood dream of mine, and I got this super small idea, let's just start a blog and see what happens and see if I can make any connections, and it turned into me becoming a published author. I credit not only Chick Lit Plus and obviously my work ethic and, you know, things like that, but seriously, it's the people that starting Chick Lit Plus that helped me so much. This is where I found my editors and my proofreaders and my beta readers and just other authors that I could ask questions to. When I was publishing my first book, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to look for people. I didn't know how to hire a cover designer. And so many authors helped me out. And that is something I really do try to remember. I get a lot of emails or messages from people saying like, I know you might be busy, but I just have this question. And I'll answer all of them, and a lot of times the responses back are like, you're so busy, you didn't have to respond to me right away, like it's okay. But no, that's never going to be my mindset, is I'm too busy to help someone, or I'm too good to help someone, or I have information that I don't want to give to other people. because if those authors hadn't helped me in the beginning, I wouldn't have gotten to be where I was. So I just so firmly believe in keeping that circle going. I want to help as many other people as I can. I'm so happy to answer questions. You know, I get questions now even about blog tours. How do you start a blog tour company? I will answer those emails. I will answer those questions, even though, you know, yeah, sure, you're probably going to be a direct competition to my business. But yeah, I want to help you and answer those questions. And now I'm getting a lot of questions even about YouTube, like, what camera do I use and all this stuff. I mean, I know YouTube. I don't even feel like I'm a YouTube novice yet. Like, I feel like I'm even below that because I'm so new. But I respond to everyone and just say, you know, this is what I do for right now. I'm just so happy and thankful to give back, because if people hadn't given back to me, I wouldn't be where I was. So I credit Chicklet Plus and the wonderful, beautiful friends and people and connections that I've made since starting it, because, you know, this literally, Chicklet Plus is where it all started, and I just feel so thankful. My 4th book just came out on July 29th, and it was literally like Christmas morning when I woke up that day and knew that I had a 4th book out in the world. Like, it's still so mind-blowing to me. I tell people I'm an author and they're like, oh, do you have like a book out? And I get to be like, no, I have 4. Like, 4. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to rein it in. And then my 5th and final moment is, again, like, this isn't a specific moment. It's just much more broader than that, but it's honestly the relationships that I have made with people who follow my blog, people who read my books, other bloggers, everyone out there that I have met or talked to or even just know virtually since starting Chicklet Plus. That's such an amazing thing to me that I feel like I have friends literally all over the world. Some of them I've never met, some of them I probably never will meet, which really stinks, but I have had so many great moments in meeting those people as well. Like I mentioned, I am a publisher with Marching Inc., and my first author that took a chance on me and let me publish her book, her name is Kat Lavoie. I met her in, where did we first meet, Kat? It was Canada that we first met at a book signing in Toronto in Canada, and I got to meet Kat, and it was so, like, we just both cried, and it was just the coolest thing to be able to meet her. But then also at that book signing, I met some wonderful authors. I remember next year we did a New York signing, and I got to meet even more authors, and I got to meet readers, but I got to meet, there was a few readers there at the New York event. I feel like in the Canada event, I was very like quiet and shy and scared. I was so overwhelmed. That was my very first book signing, book event ever. I was in a different country. I was kind of scared and quiet. But New York, I am a little bit more familiar with New York. I'd been there before. My husband was there supporting me. I'd already met a lot of these authors from the Canada event. I just felt like more in my element. I felt more comfortable going around and talking to people and things like that. But I was able to meet people that say they know Chicklet Plus and they follow Chicklet Plus, and that was just so overwhelming and so amazing and just so beautiful. It's so hard to describe when something like that happens to you, because it's just so profound. It's such a touching moment when that happens. It's just incredible. So I absolutely love the connections and the friendships that I've made. I love that I can email a virtual friend of mine when I'm having a bad day and tell her about it, and that she'll respond to me and try to cheer me up, and that she can feel the same way. She can write to me when she's having a bad day or a problem in her life, and we can try to help work it out with each other. And we live thousands and thousands of miles away, and we just happen to meet online because we're both passionate about books. I mean, how absolutely incredible is that? I know sometimes the internet can get, bad flack, and especially social media, and just how vocal and opinionated we can all be, and how hurtful and, bad things can happen from that. And I totally understand it. There's going to be a downside to everything it is that we do. But I also think it's such a beautiful thing, because it is bringing people together like nothing else can do. And I just think that is so amazing. I absolutely love it. I'm so grateful for a very small idea of starting a blog that has led me to having a huge network of friends and supporters and people who cheer me on, people who believe in me, and that's just, I mean, does it get any better than that? Okay, you guys, those are my top 5 moments since starting Chicklet Plus. I'm so sorry that like half of the video is going to be like my cracked and warbly voice as I try not to burst into tears because I just get so emotional when I think about this, but Chicklet Plus and starting out in this industry is just such a huge thing for me. It's something I'm so passionate about. This is my full-time job now. This is what I do day in and day out. This is what I do to be able to say that this is my job. I get to sit at home and write books and read books and write articles and make these videos for you guys and do the product reviews and just to be able to talk and make connections with more and more of you every single day. It is so amazing. I just feel like I need to pinch myself every single moment knowing that this is my life, and it solidifies it every single day that if you really do feel passionate about something, to just giving it a try and seeing where it goes, it could lead to crazy big things that you never even imagined you would be able to do one day. So here I go with my voice again. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little bit more insight about me. I honestly hope, with so many of my videos are what I say on social media, I hope I'm inspiring some of you guys because I'm inspired by so many people out there as well. I am inspired to keep moving forward, to keep trying new things, to keep on keeping on, honestly, might sound corny, but it is so true. I just hope I can bring some of that inspiration to you guys, especially if you guys are ever in that low moment and you just need a pickup, because trust me, I have been there too. Hope you enjoyed seeing the top 5 moments. I'm sure, I mean, I've been working on this video for weeks and I've been going through like old emails and old blog posts and things like that, trying to remember certain moments. I've been going through like my Facebook pictures, like, okay, is there any pictures that like spark a memory with me? I'm sure I missed so many things since starting in 2009, but these were 5 big memories or moments or events that stuck out to me the most that I really wanted to share with you. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, please do give it a thumbs up if you did, because that would really mean so much to me. Please subscribe if you haven't. Thank you to everyone who has been subscribing to the YouTube channel. It means so much to me to see the number of subscribers grow and know that you guys are just supporting me on another new journey. It's absolutely incredible. Please do comment below. Let me know if you liked the video or if you liked any of the specific moments. But if there's any other videos in the future that you want to see me to do, whether it be on the books or beauty side or writing side or anything like that, please do just let me know what you guys want to see, and I will keep making these videos for you because I'm having an absolute blast doing it. Again, just thank you to everyone who has supported me throughout the years. Chicklet Plus wouldn't have gone anywhere if it wasn't for the support of you guys. My books wouldn't go anywhere if it wasn't for the support of you guys. So I just thank you so much. I mean, that's really all I can say is just thank you so much. I'm going to wrap this video up now so I can go have a good cry because I feel like I've built it up in these 20 minutes or whatever that I've been sitting here. But I will just see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.